Hi, Assalamualaikum. We meet again. So this time around, we'll be looking at the introduction of PBL, and PBL stands for Problem-Based Learning. Now, when we talk about problem solving, we are actually looking at four main aspects here. Number one is what is the problem? And then again, we look at what are the circumstances that affect or that cause the problem. What are other factors that may cause the problem, and then we come up with the solutions. Now, this is the basic part when one faces or experiences problem. Now, we'll be looking at what is basically PBL, what are the advantages and disadvantages, working small groups, how it functions, and the practical aspects of PBL. Now, these are chilies, and they're part of spices. They're very spicy. Now, if we were to compare between the new innovative curricula and the traditional medical curricula, we can actually see that we can actually use the acronym of spices. The first S is student-centered. Okay, the new curricula shows or depicts how uh, student-centered the curricula is as compared to the traditional, by the teacher is the center. And then it is problem solved or problem based. Sorry, it is problem based. They are integrated, community based, and you can see that beginning this semester there will be a few courses where you have to do assignments in relation to the community. Okay, and they are elective and systematic. Now, here are some of the history of PBL, to which I believe that all of you can read on your own and try to understand this part. Now, when we talk about adult learners, there are five assumptions. Number one is self-concept, to which as a person matures, his or her self-concept moves from one of being dependent personality to one of being a self-directed human being. Adult learners are experienced, their readiness to learn, okay, orientation to learning, and motivation to learn. Okay, self-directed learning. Number one is clinical experience guide learning. Number two is use questions to identify gaps. The third one is to encourage self-directed learning, build in reflection time, and be a role model. Now, what is basically PBL? PBL means small groups of students are presented with contextual situations and asked to define the problem, decide what skills and resources are necessary to investigate the problem, and then pose possible solutions. So PBL courses start with the problems rather than with exposition of disciplinary knowledge. Now, what does it mean here? In order for you to learn about something, you will be given a situation that is more likely to to include a problem in it, for which you are required to find solutions. I guess in our daily lives, we often face problems. It is something that we face from time to time. So what matters in PBL is on how you solve these problems on a daily basis. So that's why but then again, along the way, as you are solving the problem or problems, you acquire the knowledge and you experience the process. Now, problem solving versus problem-based learning. Problem solving, arriving at decisions based on prior knowledge and reasoning. Problem-based learning, the process of acquiring new knowledge based on recognition of a need to learn. Now, PBL students generate explanations that are more accurate, coherent, and comprehensive than non-PBL students. They transfer the reasoning strategies that they are taught and are more likely to use science concepts in their explanations. The effect is stronger for the full-time PBL students. Now, the characteristics. Number one, it relies on problems. It relies on real life problems, of course. Problems are not precise. There are no single correct or incorrect solutions. Now, this is another thing that you may want to have in mind. When it comes to PBL, there is no definite solutions. What matters is how your solutions work well or work best compared to others. Students solve the problems, students are provided with guidance but not answers. So you can't turn yourself into me and ask Mr. E how to solve this problem. Instead, as the facilitator, I would guide you to the right path, then you make the decision. Assessment based on performance. What are the advantages of PBL? It's student-centered, generate competencies, integration, motivation, deep learning, and constructivist approach. So average learning rates, yeah, this is something that you can just, you know, look at yourself. Comparison between teacher-centered learning and student-centered learning. Okay, development of skills and attitudes. What are the skills and attitudes that you'll get out of PBL? Teamwork, chairing a group, listening, recording, cooperation, respect for colleagues, critical evaluation, self-directed presentation skills, roles of participants. These are the roles of the participants. Okay, so objectives of PBL, knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Now let us look at if it is a conventional lecture tutorial approach. You have knowledge, skills, and then you have problem, and you have solution and application. But when it comes to problem-based learning approach, we have the problem first, and then from there you acquire the knowledge and skills through experience and also hands-on, and then you come up with the solution or application, and then you do some sort of reflection or give some feedback. Okay, all right. Another explanation which you can read on your own. So some of the opportunities of PBL, the PBL model, that will be all.